Okay, so then, can you all see my screen? If you can see my screen, say yes in the chat. If you can't, say no. Okay, yes, very good. So let's begin. So this is lesson 3 of solving equations. We did word problems last week. That went pretty well. Most of you did quite decent on the homework, so I'm pretty pleased with that. All right, so then this is our schedule for today. Today we're going to go over homework questions. Then we're going to review the word problems. Then next we're going to go on to solving literal equations, which are quite important when you get into higher levels of mathematics. And then we're going to have some practice problems. Are there any questions over this schedule? Any questions? If there are no questions, then I'll continue. All right, so this is our first. What?
What are literal equations?
Literal equations I'll explain later. Let's go over the homework questions first, then we'll go into literal equations. Okay, so first homework question, number 1. In 2006 Winter Olympics, Sweden won 3 more medals than China, okay? Germany secured 1 more than twice the number of medals backed by Sweden. And 54 medals were won in all by these 3 countries, all right? The 2000 Winter Olympics. How many medals did Germany secure? All right, so put your answers in the chat. I'll give you a few moments. Okay. So okay, let's see if we have any answers. We have 29. Okay, we have 29. So most of everybody got 29, right? 29 medals. Okay. 29 medals. That is correct. So how do we do this? Okay, so let's represent this with an equation. Okay, so China, right? Denote that as X. So Sweden won 3 more medals than China. So Sweden is going to be X plus 3, okay? And Germany, okay, Germany secured 1 more than twice the number of medals than Sweden, okay? So it's 2 times X plus 3, the 2X plus 6. But don't forget, there's 1 more, plus 1. All right, so then total is 54, right? So we just add these up. So X plus 3 plus 2X plus 6 plus 1 is equal to 54. All right, you get 4X is equal to 44. All right, then you get X is equal to 11. Are there any questions? So, but after this, we got X, right? But we did not get how many medals did Germany secure. We got how many medals did China secure. Okay, that's X. Now we need to find what's 2X plus 7. Okay, so 2X plus 7. So 2 times 11 plus 6. All right, then add 1. 29 medals. All right, so Germany won 29 medals. So make sure you answer the question, all right? So in the homework, there are some people that did not answer the question, so make sure you answer the question. All right. Are there any questions on this? No questions. All right. So let's move on to our next homework question. So this is number 2. All right, I'll give everybody some time to do this. Put your answers in the chat box, and I'll go over it in a while. And again, make sure you do answer the question, all right? So finding X is not always the answer, right? Finding X is not going to help. So, well, it is going to help a bit. So make sure you just answer the question, okay? So don't just stop after you find X. Because in the last problem, when we found X, right, that's the amount of medals that China won, okay? We need to find what Germany wins. So then you have to plug X back in to the variable, okay? So make sure you do that. And also, make sure to label, all right? These are real life problems, word problems, right? So you need to label or they won't make sense, okay? All right, so I'm done rambling on. You can do the problem.
Right?
All right, let's see if we have any answers yet. We have 6 answers, okay? And they are $345. Okay, $345. Very good. And we have 69. Where's that $69 coming from? All right, let's see. $345 is correct. So let's see how we do this. All right. So if you got it incorrect, so make sure to pay attention to how I do this. So they're in, right? $579 in the checking account. Great. So let's put 579 right here. And he uses his account money to buy 3 equally priced sweaters. Okay. We don't know how much the sweaters cost. Okay, we don't know that. But we do know that they're equally priced. So let's say the price of one sweater is X. Therefore, 3 equally priced sweaters would be 3X. And he's spending money on them. So minus 3X. Okay, so he's taking money out of his checking account to buy 3 equally priced sweaters. Pretty pointless, but I guess he just wants sweaters. Okay, so he then uses his account money to pay his credit card bill. I don't know why he bought those 3 sweaters first, because obviously the credit card bill would probably take priority. So Darren right here is not very bright, but okay. He still uses the money to pay his credit card bill, so at least he's not going in debt. And the credit card bill is 5 times the amount, okay? They paid for the 3 sweaters. How much did he pay for the 3 sweaters? 3X, right? 5 times 3X is 15. They're taking another 15X out of his account. So then he has $165 left. All right. Are there any questions up to this point? Any questions? If there are no questions, then I'll continue. So what you need to do is you need to move this 165 to that side, to the left-hand side. Okay, so 579 minus 165 is 414, okay? And you move the 18x to the other side, okay? So then get x is equal to 23, right? But are we done yet? We are not done because we just found x. Okay, that's the price of one sweater. But his credit card dues are going to be 15 times this number, 15x, okay? So 15 times 23 is going to be $345. All right, so are there any questions on how I did this? Okay, so if you got this incorrect, make sure you take notes on how I did this. You have a question, what's the password for the recording for lessons? The password I always send out and with the recording. So let me check the last announcement. Yeah, I sent the passcode with the link. So what you need to do is just click the link and copy the passcode in. And it's in the Google Classroom. So make sure you check the Google Classroom, all the assignments posted. Okay. All right. Number 3, the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 141. Okay, find the least and greatest numbers in this series. And so I'll give you a few moments to do this. Okay. Okay, so let's look at our answers here. We have 46 and 48, right? So our least number is 46, and our most greatest number is 48, right? So everybody got 46 and 48. Okay, I did receive some confusion on what consecutive means. So if you don't know the word, just look it up. Okay. Consecutive means that the integers are one after another. For example, 4, 5, 6. Those are consecutive integers, all right? They're after one another. So if these integers are one after another, then we can write it as this. Okay, so the least number is going to be x minus 1. The middle number is x, right? And then because some consecutive is one after another, then the greatest number is going to be x plus 1, right? And the sum of these three consecutive integers is 141. Add these together. You find that the ones cancel out. You get 3x is equal to 141. So x is equal to 37. Actually, that's wrong, right? It's 47. So you get 47, okay? But we're not done yet because you have to find the least and the greatest numbers. So what's that? The least number, the least, all right, is going to be x minus 1. It's going to be 47 minus 1, which equals to 46, okay? And then we have 47 plus 1. That's 48. All right, are there any questions on this? How I did this? Any questions?
Can you do the least number is x?
Yeah, totally. You
Yeah,
can
I
do this.
did like 141 minus 1 and then minus 2 and then divided by 3 and then like, that's like the least number.
Yeah, sure, you could do that. So what you said is another method, okay? This isn't really a different method. It's just a different way of denoting your variables, okay? We can also do this, right? We could alternate method. So least x, all right? Middle x plus 1, okay? And then the greatest x plus 2, right? Still works, okay? Still works. We add them all together, okay? Get 3x is equal to 138. Still 46, okay? And then you could also do the greatest, same for the greatest, okay? So the greatest would be x, middle would be x minus 1, least would be x minus 2, and then you get exact answers, okay, with x. Then you can just stop at x. But I like to do it my way because you can just divide the number by 3.
Wait, the middle number is x plus 1?
Yeah.
Wait, why? Isn't that the greatest number?
Well, it's a different way of denoting it. All right. So let's say, how did you do it? Okay. What did you denote as x? It depends on what you denote as x.
What?
All right. So let me just explain this. So my way is denoting the middle number as x, right? If the middle number is x, then what's the greatest number? It's x plus 1, right? And what's the least number? It's x minus 1, right? But someone also said that you could denote the least number as x. Then everything changes, right? You're not denoting that middle number as x anymore. You're denoting the least number as x. Then if the least number is x, then the middle number would be x plus 1. So then the greatest number would be x plus 2, right? So that's how you do it. It just depends on what is your variable. Okay. So it depends. Your variables may not be the same as mine, but as long as you get the same solution, it's fine. All right. Fourth question. I'll give you a few moments to do this. Put your answers in the chat. All right, let's look at our answers here. We have 9,426.5 dollars. All right, that's correct. So how do we do this? So I want some participation. All right, so everybody, if you can unmute yourselves, unmute yourselves. All right, so I'm gonna have you guys help me with this. How am I going to do this? Okay, so let's say, let's denote Noel is X. All right, so what would be Robert? Okay, so can anybody tell me if Noel is X, what would be Robert's salary? Okay, what would it be denoted by? 512.75 less.
X minus 512.75.
Yes, okay, so it's X minus 512.75. Then what's John? Okay, what is John's salary? Can anybody tell me what's John's salary?
3
X
X minus
times
512.75.
What?
3 parentheses X minus 512.75.
Great. All right. Leave the computation for later. So now we just have to add it up, right? So X plus X minus 512.75 plus 3X minus, what is this? 3 times 512? Let's see what is 75. Is equal to 47 point, actually, 47,000.
When it crashes.
Okay, so then what you need to do is you need to combine like terms, pretty easy, right? So 5x is equal, right? Move the numbers to the other side. So get out your calculators. So hold on, just do some. 12.75. Okay, so you get something like this: 49,016.96.25. Okay, so x, divide that by 5, get 9,939.25. And I had some students give me this answer. Is this correct? No, it is not correct. Why? Because we did not answer the question, right? Whose salary is this? This is Noel's salary. We want to find Robert's salary. So it's going to be 9,939.25 minus 512.75. Okay, what is that going to be? That is going to be 9,426 and 50 cents dollars. Okay, so that is your answer right there. Final answer. Are there any questions about this? So make sure you answer a question, right? Make sure you answer the question. Yes, you could also define X as Robert's salary, but that'd be kind of troublesome because Robert is kind of dependent on Noel, right? Because it's 512.75 less than Noel, so it's kind of already like a dependent variable. So it's just easier to denote Noel as X for me. But you could also denote Robert as X, and then once you find X, just be done with it. Okay. So let's go on to our last problem, last homework question. So in a local park, your children were on the monkey bars, and then read all this information. You get how many children occupied the slide? 35 children. So I'll give you a few moments to do that. Okay. Right. Let's check our answers. 3 children. All right, 3 children. Okay, that is correct. 3 children were occupying the slide. So how do we do this? And so a number of children occupying the slides was 1/8 the number of children playing on the monkey bars. Great. 8 children were playing in the sandbox. All right. There are 35 children in total. So let's say the people playing on the monkey bars is X. So X plus 1/8 X plus 8 is equal to 35, right? Because 1/8 of X, or the number of children occupying the slides, was 1/8 of the number of children playing on the monkey bars, so it's kind of dependent, right? So let's do that. And also you could do it another way, actually. Yeah, let's do it an easier way. Well, since the slides, okay, so the slides can be denoted as X. And then the monkey bars can actually is 8x. Okay, still works. Then fix that. All right, so 9x is going to be equal to 27x equals to 3, and that's your answer already. Don't forget the children part. Make sure you label. All right. Any questions about this? No questions. Okay. So again, let's go over word/applied problems. Okay. So the steps are you need to read the problem carefully. Note the important parts. All right. Find the unknown. Okay, and don't know as a variable. What are you trying to find, right? What are you trying to find? Okay. What are you trying to okay? And then represent this as an algebraic equation. And you need to solve that equation and answer the question. Very important, all right? Answer the question. Okay, make sure you answer the question. Not just finding X, finding Y. You have to answer the question or it's wrong. Okay? So make sure you do that when you're doing word problems. So let's go on to literal equations, all right? Word problems weren't that hard, all right? Most of you guys did decent, so let's move on. So the definition of a literal equation, right? It's an algebraic equations with multiple variables instead of just one. Okay, so are there any questions on this, right? There are algebraic equations with multiple variables, okay? And a lot of the formulas that you know are like this, right? Literal equations. A lot of formulas are like this. For example, the volume of a cylinder. Okay, the volume of a cylinder. Can anybody tell me the volume of a cylinder? Does anybody know what is the volume of a cylinder?
Pi r squared times h.
Yes, pi r squared times height. All right. You're not going to denote it as like just h or just r, right? You need multiple variables because you need these the radius, pi. You need the height to find the volume of a cylinder, and that's why literal equations come in handy. Okay, so other examples, right? Also, a lot of volume formulas, or the area, A is equal to base times height. Okay, you also, other examples of literal equations, let's say x plus y is equal to 2. Okay, or we have 1 over A plus 1 over B plus 1 over C is equal to R. Okay, all literal equations, all right? I'm just making them up. But as long as this algebraic equation has multiple variables, it's a literal equation, right? So anybody has some examples, all right? Can you give me some examples of literal equations? All right, brainstorm, just examples. Speed times time is equal to distance. Are you sure about that? Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Speed time, that's true. Okay, any more answers? All right. Examples. What are some popular? Yeah, that's more like it. Rate times time, not speed. Okay, so x plus y over 6 equals 9. Okay, that's totally fine. Anything that has a lot of variables. Great. So let's move on. Pretty straightforward, right? Pretty straightforward literal equations. Okay. So now let's move on to a bit of simple factorization. Okay. You're not going to need it now, but you're going to need it when we're doing the practice problems. Okay, so let me just give you some basic simple factorization. Okay, very easy. We're not factoring any polynomials, that kind of stuff. Very simple. Okay, we haven't even reached our factorization unit yet. So it's very prerequisite. Okay, it's very simple things. So this is very simple. The definition of factorization is rewriting a mathematical expression as a product of several simple entities. Okay, in this case, the reverse of distributive property. All right, extremely simple, right? So what you need to know is just find the greatest common factor. Okay, find the greatest common factor. So someone give me an example. Actually, no. Let me just do 3x plus 4. Can anybody expand this for me? What is this equal? Can anybody expand this? All right, someone expand this for me. 3 times the quantity of x plus 4. All right, very good. 3x plus 12. This is distributive property. Right? What is going back? Going back from this expanded form back to this parentheses, or a product of several simpler entities, is called factorization. The opposite of distributive property, kind of, right? You can kind of see it. So how do we factor? Well, what you're really looking at, you're looking at the different factors of 3 and 12. 3x and 12. So what is 3x? 3x is 3 times x, right? And then 12, that's 3 times 4. So what you're really looking at is these two greatest common factors, okay? If you can take those greatest common factors, you can find those greatest common factors, then it's factorable, okay? So you take those greatest common factors, you put it outside this parentheses, and everything that's left, okay? These terms may go inside, okay? And to check your factoring, you can multiply it again to see if you get the same thing. If you multiply it again and you don't get the same thing, then you probably factor wrong. So this is pretty straightforward. We're not going to do extremely hard factorization right now. Okay, this is just very simple. Okay, the most simple factorization that you can get with algebra. Right? Does everybody get how you do this? Right? Are there any questions? Okay, so we're going to have to use a bit of factorization to solve a bit of factorization to solve our literal equations and our practice problems. So make sure you know how to factor. All right. Are there any questions on factoring? If you do have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. Okay. So let's go over how to solve these literal equations. All right. So what are examples of literal equations? Let's say v is equal to pi r squared times h. How the heck are you supposed to solve that? I mean, you can solve x plus 3 is equal to 6, right? You can solve x is equal to 3. But that's only one unknown. With one unknown, it's just a linear equation. Okay, you know how to solve those. Very simple, right? You just use inverse operations. Now that we know that. But how do you solve these kind of literal equations? All right, what is the big idea? Can anybody tell me what is the big idea when you're solving linear equations? All right, those simple equations. So what is the big idea? What is your answer supposed to be like? Right? What is the big idea? Right? Can anybody tell me what's the big idea when you're solving these simple equations? Right? You can simplify them, yes. But once you're done getting the answer, how should the answer be formatted? Okay. X is equal to A. Very good. So X is equal to A. What we're really doing here is we're going to isolate what we're trying to find, the unknown X. Isolate that one on one side and isolate everything else, aka the numbers, on the other side. It's the exact same thing for literal equations. This time, we're just not only working with numbers in just one variable. We're working with multiple variables, all right? So someone give me an example. Actually, let's not. I'm going to go very simple with this, all right? So A plus B is equal to C. Now, you can't solve this, right? Because what am I supposed to solve, right? What am I supposed to solve? Am I going to solve for A, solve for B, or solve for C? Which one, right? So we don't know what we're going to solve. So when you're solving literal equations, they will tell you what to solve for. Solve for A. So solve for A, how the heck are we supposed to solve for A? Right? If we're going to solve for A, we're going to have to isolate what we're trying to find and everything else on the other side, right? So this is what we're going to do. Isolate A on the one side and isolate B and C on the other side. So to move B to C to the right-hand side, we're going to use inverse operations once again. Okay, so make sure you know your inverse operation. Move this. It's going to be A is equal to C minus B. Okay, that is your answer. That's all, right? A cannot be solved as a number, all right? Cannot be a number because there's multiple variables. And that's going to be your answer, right? Just isolate A on one side. However, is this acceptable? A is equal to C minus B over A. This is not acceptable. Why? Because you have A on both sides. You need to isolate A, only A on one side, okay? You can't have A on the other side too. Make sure you're careful with that. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Okay, so let's go on with a little example. Okay, this example. So if we're going to solve for x, what we really need to do here is to get rid of this fraction. Okay, we hate fractions in algebra because they're hard to deal with. At least they're better than decimals. So you get xd is equal to 8c. So we have xd is equal to 8c. Are we done yet? We're not, right? We need to only get x on one side. So what you need to do is you need to divide both sides by d now. Okay, these cancel out. So x is equal to 8c over d. And then you're done. That's it. X is equal to 8c over d. Are there any questions on this? Right, A's 8c over d. Yes. Good. Okay, so now let's go on practice problems. I think you should be good with this. Okay. All right. Let's see what you got. You got 26g over 9. Very good. All right, so how are we going to do this? Moving g to the other side, right? Isolate x. So negative 9x is equal to negative 26g. Divide both sides by negative 9. x is equal to 26 over 9g. All right, any questions on this? If there are no questions, then let's continue. All right, solve this. All right, we're solving for d. Okay, so solve for d. Okay. So let's see. If 36c minus the square root of 3 over 27. Okay. Then Ethan says the same thing, but you forgot to divide by 27. So almost everybody got the same thing. Okay, William has negative 38g over 27 minus 9. Okay. So let's see which one is correct. Let's do this. Solve for d, right? First, multiply both sides by 2. Right, so I'm not going to talk much, just going to do it. So, okay. So then you get this. Divide both sides by 27. You get this. Very good. Congratulations to those who got it.
I
Right.
got that. I got that. Wait,
Good.
wait. Can you simplify square root 3?
No, you
Oh,
can't. Square root of 3 is like 1.7 something. It's a very irrational number, very ugly number. Okay, number 3, b is equal to 21u minus 5ab times u minus a. Solve for u. Okay, I'll give you a few moments to do this. All right. U is equal to BU plus 4IB over 21. All right. We don't have much answers, so this was pretty hard. Okay, so I'm gonna go walk you through this. So first multiply both sides by U minus A. I'm gonna get rid of that. Remember the factoring, okay? Remember the factor. All right, so you want to get U, right? So move the BA to the other side, right? We don't want that, right? Okay, so BU minus 21. Move the 21U to the side, okay? And then move the BA away. Okay. Clean up. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to find that common factor, right? In this case, it's U, so factor that out. Right? Then here you can also factor. Common factor is BA, right? Common factor BA. Also AB, just looks better. Actually, what is this? What am I doing? I can just combine like terms here. That's dumb. Solid. All right, so AB is the same thing as BA, so just combine like terms. Okay, so then U is equal to negative 4AB over B minus 21. Who got that? Negative, okay. BU. All right, so you still have BU here. So you can't have U on both sides, all right? So U on both sides, that's incorrect. All right, so make sure you do not have that. So fourth question, all right? Let me just walk you through these ones. Okay, these are pretty hard. So we
Wait,
need
what was the answer?
what? This was the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So number 4, software P. So everybody just get yourselves involved, okay? How are we going to solve for this? Any ideas? First step, all right? If you can unmute yourself, unmute yourself. What are we going to do? What?
You're gonna take the Q squared and move to the other side.
Okay. And then?
You move the 4 to the other side, so you basically divide both sides by 4.
That would be incorrect. Because you have P on both sides. You want P by itself, isolated. Okay, so can't do that.
Oh, so you move 3PQ to the power of 2 to the other side.
All right. And then? What do we do now? You factor, right? You factor. Common factors, P. Factor that out. This is what we get, right? Divide both sides by 4 minus 3Q squared. 3Q squared. P is equal to 7 minus Q squared over 4 minus 3Q squared. Are there any questions on this? No questions? Okay, last problem. This one is also quite hard. So what is our first step here? Does anybody know what's our first step here? All right, what's our first step?
To move 22 over n to the other side.
Are you sure you want to do that? It's going to be a lot of, I don't like dealing with fractions, okay? So what we're going to do, we could also multiply everything by
Everything by
xn,
n.
right? Okay, multiply everything by xn. least common factor. Least common multiple of these. You could also move it to the other side, sure, but let's practice multiplying everything by xn. So multiply everything by xn, 22x plus n times negative 19 minus t is equal to 10x. So then, okay, you get 22x minus 19n minus tn equal to 10x. Okay, so you move all of this to the other side, okay? 12x is equal to 19n plus tn, okay? Then 12x, you can even factor this further, okay? Factor this side. So what's the common, greatest common factor, okay? It's n. Okay, or actually do it the standard way, t plus 19, right? Then everything divide by 12, right? No problems, right? Did I do anything wrong? I think that's about it. Okay, any questions on this? What was the answer? For what? This one? Okay, this was the answer. And for last questions, n times t plus 19 over 12 was the answer. All right, so that was the last practice problem. So thank you for listening, everyone. Okay, so goodbye. If you have any questions, please say them now, or I will end this meeting. Okay. Any
Bye.
questions?
Bye. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.